What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Cousin Cecil Show. How are you? How was your week? You got your suntan lotion on your nose. You got sunglasses on. You enjoying summer game fest. You out here cruising. And, we're neck deep into game announcements. And that's what Daddy likes. And all that fun jazz. We're going to get into them. We are at the, nope, we still got a little bit more. But I think for Summer Games Fest wise, I think we're almost in the sunset of what Jeff Keigh or Keigh 3, how some giant GameSpot, oh my God, giant bomb. I forgot about that. That shit happened this week. Made fun of Summer Games Fest by adding it to be Keigh 3 and spelled like Keighley, but yeah, it was a good week. Obviously, of course, this is the time of year I really enjoy as a gamer and all that jazz. I love the announcements. I love getting hype in the idea of like this is the ecosystem I really dig into. I really appreciate being a gamer in these certain times. And sometimes, judging by how some of the community goes, it's a kind of also a clusterfuck. And also you're like, why am I really involved so much into some of the gaming stuff? But why don't we do it nice and slow and we'll get into it. How about we first do what I've been playing? What I've been playing, it's been a little bit of hodgepodge of I actually sat down and finished Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, and I'm at this moment in time, I'm good. I don't think I will platinum this game, and maybe it's also because it's me. I have a little trouble comprehending or catching on to the combat system in the deflecting parry department of it. Everything else feels pretty smooth for some reason. I don't know if it's because it's a little bit of a smaller studio or something, but it's definitely feels a little off on the defense with the bubble thing. And I do not understand how to truly trigger a parry in that game. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it don't. So I will not say and I think in my personal opinion, it does somewhat of that idea of what happened remember in Infamous Second Son when we got spoiler for a PS4 launch game. When we got the final power, it was like that rock power. It's kind of give you like a invincible, it gives you a new power to play with in that ecosystem. Well, now slightly spoiler for Kenna. Kenna gives you a power that, in my opinion, helped me make a little bit of a full circle in my combat style of Kenna that I wish I got to enjoy in the beginning with this dash ability. And this dash has now become, which again, you get it in the last third. And when I say the last third, you're like, oh, that sounds like a lot. No. Like it's literally, you get it, you get to use it in we'll call it the boss world of the quote unquote dungeon. Because, it's not a dungeon, but the idea, it's still set up of like, hey, you're in this sector of the map, and it's technically fix the spirit, and then you are done. Idea, then you go backtrack, and you go back and you go another direction to another said area with another spirit, so i.e. another dungeon, like Legends of Zelda. But you get it's this dash that kind of makes you, do like little blips, so you like zip zip, and like it also, if you do it right, you dash towards somebody and it gives you it blasts them with that energy that blue energy that's been through the whole game, and it opens them up for combat. And obviously that was pretty good for that dungeon and walking towards the final boss. Then we get to the final boss, and I think this final boss, what it felt tacked on, even though in the story, when you play it, which I'm at the same point of, it was a good game. I think it was also, in my opinion, I would give it a high 7, maybe 7.5 to a low 8 on a scale. But what I'm trying to describe as that idea of giving me a cool thing at the end, and then we have to go to this to me, in my opinion, a tacked on final boss, because of like, it goes into like the idea of like, they give you kind of a touch-based story, but it does not have the same hooks compared to the other spirits of this game. But it feels tacked on. It feels kind of overwhelming, and also like, how would I word it? People, in the hindsight, I would not say it's difficult, but it's so not well paced that it kind of gave me a bad taste, that last final boss. And where that said, that's why it dropped it to me when I said it was a high 7.5. I'm going to give it like a 6.5 because of that feeling at the end. And is that fair to it? To me, yes. But, and I know something was bothering me when I do not feel, which I also do not like this in trophy lists. But then obviously one of the trophies is played under master difficulty. And I'm like, I'm good. It did not feel good the first time. I do not want to do it the second time with a harder of it. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I try to even clean up the trophy list and get some of the stuff through normal and just kind of do cleanup stuff. And I got to play this one section of clearing out the village of this monster, and the name was Kappa, so you understand which monster that got me into this, like, I'm good. But that was a whole clusterfuck little fight inside this one little cave pit. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm actually going to probably, after this recording, I'll probably delete it and do the final Viking sail off, blow it off into the wind. But I did beat Kenna, and it was okay. It was pretty good until the end, and then just some cliche gaming ideas of let's give him a cool skill, and it's at the end of the game. And I say this without knowing if master difficulty lets me have all the powers that you earn in the normal difficulty. So I'm gonna leave it blind, but at least I'm gonna be honest of like, I do not know. And then I come to terms also with another very difficult combat game, is I jumped back into a little bit of Sifu. I did not, I will also state, did not beat it yet, but you know what I'm having a really good time with it is, this is the first time in a while I've ever done this. And in fact, it's my first time ever doing it intentionally, or like, let me go check this out. But I switched the difficulty down to the student level instead of the regular normal level. And you know what? It feels pretty good at the student level where you can die. You don't have to worry about that stupid little gold chain breaking and you only have X amount of time. I'm aging, but also at the same time, I have such a good time and I get a good run. I get to hit that 1,000 at the end and knock back 5 years. And I do not feel no harm, no foul. And I fought 3 bosses, and it feels good. I still even die in the apprentice level, but it does not feel so burdened. Like, I don't feel so burdened or like, of each death. And it had actually turned me over a new leaf of that Sifu game. And also so people understand where if I am 3 or 4, but I think it's 3. I just beat the girl in the museum. I don't know how many bosses. I'm assuming there's maybe 5 bosses, maybe 4, but it feels pretty good at a lower difficulty, and I'm more shocked that I did it, and also it doesn't feel too bad. I don't feel dirty because I went lower difficulty. It actually made the game more enjoyable for me. And then I think really for that, because I think of what we've talked about, I did my little weekly Destiny 2. I think I like how I say that. I think I like this season's story of this haunted memories and ghost memories of the people that are around. Like, the first 2 weeks was the Crow, and you kind of we kind of went over that hump, and now we're getting into Zavala, the Titans Vanguard mentor for people who just go, "Who's Zavala?" by name. He's having ghosts of his wife, dead wife. And so this was week 1 of that, and then as we get a newer style of era that we fight, and no, it's okay. I still do like the new patrol area inside the haunted Leviathan, but I do sometimes I get those weird moments that I get into a haunted Leviathan and there's no other guardians around, so you're trying to run these definitely needs more than one guardian, like public events that are the new thing of this season, and it gets a little tiring of that. I also been dipping back into Fortnite. I did buy the battle pass for this one, so I do have technically a battle pass to grind over, and I've only unlocked the first page, as in like I got all the awards. I'm on page 2 of this. It still feels fine, just obviously more timing. I actually was feeling more good that I got back into like Sifu and Kenna to get some stuff off my plate. I also played a little bit of Horizon 2, and I got the mouthpiece. I literally found the first nearest campfire next to that fucking that Tower of Tears. Saved it. I might get back into it, but it just doesn't feel as good as that first one for me at the moment, even after the updates and stuff. But okay, that's about me. And then also, fun fact: I'm not going to review it because I don't want to hear Delvin think I'm slurping on a goddamn can more than I am. But summer's out, like we've been saying, and Baja Blast has new flavors. I believe they're new, or at least they are tweaked versions of they did last year. They have multiple different Baja Blasts. You can get the original, which obviously is the Taco Bell original, and of course this year is there's a pineapple one, which I do not know the name offhand because it's not in front of me. And then this one in front of me is the mango one called Mango Gem. And the Mango Gem is okay. I think it's the weaker one of this new flavors. If you can find the yellow can, the pineapple one, I think that tastes a little bit better than the mango one. This mango one, if you like mango, this baby tastes like a goddamn mango. And, it teaches own. I do like mango, but just compare, the pineapple one does have a better soda like taste to it, like but yeah, I guess they're both not bad, but out of the two, the yellow can's my preferred compared to this orange one. But yeah, moving along, so since the last time we recorded, we did not get to discuss PlayStation's State of Play. Because I believe. Nope, I did. Because I remember I did do an episode. It just had. Yep, that's the best we did. So we actually get to now go into actual Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest. Obviously, the State of Play was part of it, but obviously just how it is. So Jeff Keighley's State of Play or Summer Game Fest came out. It definitely was a crowd control. He did come out on like Twitter Spaces and areas and say, "Hey, keep the hype at a low. We're only discussing things that have been revealed." There were some reveals, but the idea of like it's not like we're not going to see a Elden Ring amount size of reveal like he has done before in the past, he said. And contrary to what we've done before in the past in this show, I'm kind of more just going to give you a kind of more highlighted stuff, and like we're not going to break down everything. Besides, it was, I believe the Summer Games Fest was around a couple, like the thing about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. But some of the big moments that caught my eye were, of course, I want to first give flowers to the Callisto Protocol. I have a problem also with the Callisto Protocol. People act like this is brand new in the sense of, hear me out, of they're like, whoa, where'd this game come out of nowhere? Is this like a Dead Space game? And I heard multiple people treat it like first time they ever heard it. They've realized they didn't understand why does it look like so much like Dead Space, even though one perk of if you follow all this, or hey, listen to this fucking show. We've talked about it back when with Keigh how Keigh even presents stuff. He goes, back in 2020 or something, we showed you this. Here's an update to it. And that's where we got the kind of a trailer of was it the trailer? Or I'm having a brain fart of, I think we got a trailer in the State of Play. I can't remember if we did do this. Yeah, we did do State of Play. Of course we did, because that's part of the name of last week's thing. But we got an actual kind of a demo showing of a area of this Callisto Protocol. And obviously this is it's technically an indie title, but it's also a new studio under the Glenn, I forgot his last name, but he was the original director of Dead Space. That's why it looks kind of like that. And also where he is bringing it back to closer to Dead Space 1 and 2 roots, because obviously Dead Space 3 kind of made the whole franchise go left. But I just want to more give a highlight that it looks really good. I really also enjoy that, knowing it's going to come out. Well, it is set to come out December 2nd this year. And it's definitely on my radar. It has been on my radar. But back to what I was going to say, I bothers me of like, you have these people in the ecosystem who like to like, in my opinion, this is my opinion, they probably are not doing it, but like everyone loves to throw digs at Keigh and his stuff, and like how sometimes it is just when they say it's a celebration of gaming, it could be very low hanging fruit of like indie titles. It's not usually you're not going to get the best out of even Nintendo or Xbox or PlayStation, or even like a Valve, in my opinion. You don't get a full on like, here, Jeff, we'll give you the creme de la creme. He has got him before, like how Microsoft has given him the chance to reveal the system, but everyone acts like it's like they love to just dig on him, or like I felt bad for him when he did this questionnaire on Twitter Spaces about Summer's Games Fest before. I jumped in and I heard him having to talk to people, and every other question was, Elden Ring, and or why is there so many ads? And the way you approach that, why so many ads, I'm giving it a distaste because of goes like he is still pulling this out of his ass in the sense of he's setting up a pretty good program, in my opinion. Yeah, there's going to be some ads to help, check and balance some of this shit out. And obviously just, it's free market space. And obviously it is this is the part of the economy I don't mind. Like, Keigh has to put a little ads in, just how it goes. But, people act like, he revealed the Callisto Protocol 2 years ago. And we did get a pretty decent CGI trailer to give you this feel. And then there was trailer breakdowns and everything right then and there. Like, where were you guys if you guys have been in the gaming ecosystem and world this long? You guys, act surprised. But I digress. I don't want that. My feelings go off. But no. The Callisto Protocol looks really good. It is definitely not holding back on the gore. It is definitely not trying to hold back on scaring. Because it looked really good. And I'm definitely looking forward to that coming out. I believe after Street Fighter 6 was revealed, out of the state of play, Keigh got a new trailer showing that a new character of how would it be? A more confirmed character. We got the first images of Guile. And again, I think this Street Fighter 6, which I said before, is going to be the biggest fighting game again, because of I think aging the original cast that has been already announced is a good move. And I think some of the other parts, like the battle mode, the World Cup mode or some shit, and like the typical matchmaking, they just sound like they're listening to the people, the fans. They also confirm the rollback networking, which has been the crown jewel of online fighting game networking. So they've already got that confirmed. And I think again, we'll backtrack on that. Having the open controls to be either classic or the more simple, I think that opens a lot up for newcomers, new people who have been enjoying these other these other fighting games that have been kind of coming on the block. It helps you bring them into the ecosystem of Street Fighter. So I'm looking forward to it. Some other things I am trying to remember if it was truly Keigh or is it blending into other stuff, but I believe it's Keigh. For me, I think seeing Witchfire again, and they kind of do a re-reveal because they've already announced that through many years ago, but it looks good. I think what is it? We had another little highlight of Cuphead's DLC island with the last course. There's some, and then Midnight Suns, the Marvel XCOM game with card-based attacks. It had a CGI trailer, did not have any gameplay showed. Some people say that's red flags. IGN does have videos of the combat up from months ago. So, I mean, obviously take that with a grain of salt. Shit might change. But that one definitely has me. I'm going to keep my eye on you. I might get you. And then some more also things about, hey, what Keigh got to reveal. A couple Game Pass announcements in the sense of this new horror game called Routine is going to be coming day and date with Game Pass. And then more of a confirmation, but that Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge game, one, show that there will be up to 6 online people playing at the same time, which is sounds like a pretty chaos fun time. They also revealed Casey Jones is a playable character, and it is going to come to Xbox Game Pass day and date. So that is really good. I think, let's also backtrack that too. Which we'll get into with the Xbox presentation from yesterday. So everything got delayed from Xbox first party. Starfield is next year. That was delayed. That was confirmed 2 months ago. Redfall was also in that conversation that was delayed till 2023. So there has been this weird void in the sense of Xbox network or ecosystem has been asking what is going to fill the rest of the remaining calendar for Xbox, and then and the other question would be then is what is going to be on Game Pass that makes me stay on Game Pass? And I say that question kind of in a layman's term. I think people are, if you're already in it, you're going to stay in it. I think there's also a more vocal minority bashing them. Also, trolls are going to troll, but when the trolling has some points to it and they're trying to show you a point to it, I think there's some things you should listen into. And I'm glad to see, which again, we'll get into with Xbox. I don't want to talk about right now. I want to try and get through this Summer Games Fest first, then we'll get into that. There's some things that can be discussed about that. But Summer Games Fest was Jeff Keighley. I think also we saw, a new trailer for Gotham Knights. We saw also, I'm going to say this, fuck you, the guys who do Saint Rose. They had a trailer for Jeff Keighley's shit, and it was called the Boss Factory trailer / demo, available now. And that demo is nothing. It is not a demo. It is a goddamn screen to help you create your boss for the game later this year. Or, probably in later weeks. I think it's going to come out soon. But I was like, oh, good. We get to, I was hoping, give me a town square. And let me run around, drive around, and just check shit out in this town square of this game so I can see how it feels. Nope. It's just a goddamn character creator. And that's why I say, fuck you. But yeah. And the big kind of not, apparently it was leaked that the night prior. Oh, let me backtrack one more time. Nightingale looks good. And then I was hoping, because they had a neon white trailer, which is that card-based runner that we talked about on an indie showcase for Nintendo. I saw the trailer, like, oh, good. This is going to be it. They're going to tell us it's finally going to come to other systems. Nope, it's a trailer because it's not out yet for the Switch. I'm like, damn it. It looks really good. But back to the Keighley's thing, finished off with Naughty Dog. Neil Druckmann came out and some information. So the unspoken word of Last of Us Factions, the sequel to it that was supposed to come out with Last of Us 2, has changed. Is now going to be a standalone thing, which obviously was planned on do it, but the idea that it's not ready yet, and they gave us some concept art of, apparently this is going to be a very massive multiplayer game. I know I just said kind of things that could turn into an abbreviations of an MMO, but it's not an MMO to my knowledge. But the idea that it is going to be a larger scale towards the faction that have received. The concept art has definitely looks like it was aimed to be what's going on in San Francisco in this world. And just showed that and said it's going to later, we're going to talk about it sometime in the future. Next, they showed a new still frame of the HBO's Last of Us. And this time we actually see Pedro and forgot the girl who's playing Ellie, but they actually see him inside the shot of this in the museum is from one of the episodes that Neil Druckmann himself was able to direct. And they also announced that the voice actors who played Joel and Ellie, I can't remember their names offhand, Troy Baker, and then I can't remember the lady's name. They are in the show too, and not just as like Easter egg, like wink at the camera shit. They're actually in some full blown characters that have moments in the series. And then I've been tiptoeing, kind of like it felt like on the stream, but the night prior, they have The Last of Us Part 1 remake coming September 2nd, 2022, in a couple months. In a layman's terms, so I don't have to sit here and talk about like that, it is basically they are using obviously they're putting better graphics in it, but the idea of it is using the engine of The Last of Us Part 2, where the fluidity was improved, some gameplay, definitely things that we as gamers gave them tip of the cap to when it came out, Part 2. They are putting it into a remake of Part 1. And in my opinion, and I thought it said, there's a couple things also. They are making us buy it for $70. And in my opinion, everything was cool and gravy. I'm like, you know what? You're going to do a remake? Cool. It clearly Demon Souls remake, another PS3 game, did really well for them. I think $70 is a little too high when you do not get, there's no multiplayer, which I understand why. Hey, we're going to do a new multiplayer. Why are we going to put effort in giving you a smaller version of the old multiplayer and kind of ruin that first reveal of Last of Us 2, like fluidity of how they changed the gameplay? Why would they tease it in this podunk thing? So I do have problems with the price. So I probably would not pick it up until sales. And that's just me. If you like Last of Us that much and you want to go buy it day one, cool. But I want to at least speak on my wallet of that because it does look good. And I am a person. Each time I look at this trailer, they have these trailers that show compare and contrast of the old, like the remastered versions trailer to like frame by frame different, same. There are moments I'm like, I can drop it right now. But I want to just say, you know what? I don't think it's right that Part 1 gets a 7. Like, you're making us pay $70 so you can fix the end, so you can have basically the same actual Dr. Abby's dad's profile from that they put in Part 2. They're going to probably put in Part 1. You know what I mean? Like, it's all said and done, and it'd be more funny when you, some people said it, but they did not really stay like that. It'd be really funny if we see, like, a little Abby around that hospital before Joel. But I know for a fact they are going to put the actor who plays Abby's dad in this Part 1 now at the end. Like, it makes the most sense. But yeah, September 2nd. And yes, Keigh, the Summer Games Fest, without me touch basing everything, it was what I think it was going to be. Oh, excuse me. They also announced their Xbox does have also an exclusive Warhammer game that is basically I think it's called Warhammer Dark Tide. It's basically a Space Marine version of Left 4 Dead, but with the Vermintide Warhammer engine, Vermintide is their Warhammer game that's kind of closer to Lord of the Rings, so it's not so Space Marines. Darktide is the Space Marine story. So obviously it's just going to be hordes of zombies or whatever they call their horde. And it's a 4-player Left 4 Dead game. Another red flag of like, what are you guys doing at Xbox? Of like, why are they doing these constant different multiplayer things? But I digress. And then that was Thursday. I'm also going to say right here, here's a hot pick for the Cousin Cecil show for TV show. I'm going to say it here, and I'm going to say it at the end. This week's hot picks is I would like you guys to go back and watch all the other mini little streams that happen in between. The Gorilla Collective, the Black Voices in Gaming show. There are some decent, I think they're called like Carefree streams. There's also like the PC show had some news, but also that's your discretion. You can probably, but the Gorilla one, that the Carefree one, the Black Voice in Gaming, and then also I used to do it. I might do it next time too. But always look up the Day of the Devs, which is the thing that happened right after Summer Games Fest. But obviously we're not going to get into it because honestly, I don't know if it was me, but like it just felt like it happened. Like I saw Keigh say signed off, and then I tried to get back on Day of the Devs, and within like 15 or 20 minutes, I felt like it was already done. I'm like, whoa, what happened? So I didn't even go look up like that. The only thing I saw some indie names that really caught my eye. I think there's this weird game that has a haunted train chasing you, and you are on an island, and you have to risk reward leaving your train to collect materials so you can fight this spider evil train with like a face of like a Pennywise smiling. It's pretty messed up. It's like Jimmy Choo Choo or something. That was kind of interesting. Definitely a PC game. I don't think that it'd be cool if it came to consoles, but it's definitely one of those like we made it for PC. It's like you're on PC, you're gonna play some weird shit. But yeah, hot picks. Go do some homework and go look at those other conferences. So, and then we're getting into Sunday, the Xbox Showcase. It was stated that it is going to show us the future, the next 12 months of Xbox and Xbox Game Pass, and it will be 90 to 95. Like it ended up being 95 minutes, but it was 90 minutes long. It was supposed to be. So I will say this was probably, in my opinion, one of the weakest Xbox showcases they have done. And then I will also say, I kind of stated it pretty good on a tweet. The Xbox Showcase definitely showed me things that if I was a Xbox person, I would feel kind of okay having the system and seeing what is coming to Game Pass for the next 12 months. It was very weak in the sense of like, it did not make me want to go looking for a system. So it's a double-edged sword. It kind of did something, but also at the same time, it felt like a little phone in and a little too safe. And then it definitely also did the elephant in the room. There are no first-party games besides this one, I think Obsidian produced, but I don't even think they're the ones who actually developed it. A game that is a weird, very indie. It looks like you're reading an old-time English cartoon story. But even this, they even delayed Well, not delay like that, but they announced a rumored delay there where Forza Motorsports is coming in spring 2023. And like, uh-oh. There's another thing that left the holidays, in my opinion, when I was watching it. But they showed gameplay. They started the show with Redfall, and they showed gameplay, and it looks good. I will say that, but it looks also at the same time, it's not my bag because it is it's definitely a multiplayer game you can play by yourself. It says blah blah blah, but it's here's a carnival full of vampires. There's a church, all this shit, like, you know, different things you can do around. Who made this? The guys who did Prey and Dishonored. So that means this is the guys who did Deathloop. Right? Yes. In my head. So they basically just did, here's a 4-player Deathloop in the sense of like, here's a world or a situation. All right, go kill all the vampires in this situation with your team. And go do the task. And then you probably get out. You know, that idea. So it's not it looks good, but also it's just not my bag. Some things that were also discussed was and I do also I think I've said it before on here, and I'll say it again. Xbox does some of the worst transparency on some of their shit. Like they could say world premiere or like exclusive. They used to say that, but now they have been fixing that part. But there were still some things that were discussed, and I'm going to get into it. They said on there after that reveal of Redfall, they have a deal with Riot Games. So Xbox Game Pass members will get all characters unlocked for League of Legends. Riot Games is League of Legends, Valorant, League of Legends Wild Rift, which is a mobile game, like kind of like a Hearthstone, but with obviously like League of Legends games, card game. I want to say also an auto chess. So basically an auto chess game too. But they made it sound, when they first said it, it sounded like, oh, Valorant's going to come to consoles, which is their kind of CSGO type of squad shooter multiplayer game. My stepson loves it. But no, you only get to have characters unlocked if you go to Xbox Game Pass on your PC and or mobile at this moment in time. But I'm just stating what was said and then shown at the end. Because then they show like the cue card of all the games, and it showed like it broke it down. Mobile, here's mobile PC, this is PC, this is mobile PC, this was PC, blah, blah, blah. And I also took a step back right before I recorded. I'm like, hey, how much would it cost somebody to unlock all League of Legends characters? So they are definitely giving you a deal for $15. It said on there it would be roughly around like $680 to get all the characters unlocked in League of Legends. Valorant and some of the other games are kind of fairly new, but they were still around, they said about $7 a character. And I think Valorant maybe has 10. Maybe Valorant has it could be 8. You know what I mean? It just started. So there is a value there, but I just thought it was like, wow. You convoluted that sentence and it made it sound like it was coming to console, but it's not. But it was a good pickup for the ecosystem of Game Pass / Microsoft is treating their Game Pass as their ecosystem. I think every game on this showcase is on Game Pass and or free to play that was showed, or have a perk for it. One thing, then they had a console launch exclusive, which obviously will hit Game Pass day and date, of a Rick and Morty game called High on Life. Not when I say Rick and Morty, I guess is from the creators of Rick and Morty, kind of like how Accounting Plus and all that shit and Trevor Saves the World. This is High on Life. It looks really good. It looks very next gen-y. Like you're holding guns that talk back at you in the Rick and Morty humor. They also showed some things that are not technically confirmed yet for Game Pass, but if things of their acquisitions are happening, definitely they had, obviously, like I said, Overwatch 2 shown, and which was already announced. This what I'm going to say, but Overwatch 2's multiplayer is being cut down to 5v5, and also is going to be free to play. There's also going to be and then if you want that campaign, that's going to charge you. I think that's another thing that's going to be bullshit. You're going to make somebody pay $60 for a Overwatch 2 campaign if it's probably even not going to be that long. And then another one is they were the ones that revealed a new character for Diablo 4 as in a play. Like they revealed the Necromancer. So that's kind of cool. And again, those are those ones that did not say it's up for Game Pass yet. But, you know, if they acquire them, and excuse me, Diablo 4 was announced. It's going to be next year, 2023. Overwatch is going to be October 4th this year for the quote unquote beta, which is obviously just them starting their free to play shit, apparently. But a lot of this is where some fans, some are also trolls, they were kind of upset with the Xbox showcase. Every cool and what would be AAA-esque game was 2023. And a lot of not weirder, but a lot of more indie titles. Some look good. Like the Rick and Morty Solar Opposite creator guy one. Some of them just look like they look like Game Pass fodder to some. They looked okay. We saw the Forza say 2023. They had Microsoft Flight Simulator get Halo. I think they're called Pelicans, but the Halo ship, one of the army ship, not like one of those big ones, get a free update so you can drive one of the planes from Halo in Flight Simulator. Okay, cool, blah blah blah. But I was appalled and shocked when they had Pete Hines, because I believe it was Pete Hines from Bethesda, come out and touch base with Bethesda and go, we just showed you Redfall 2023, and we're going to end this show with Starfield in 2023. And they kind of said it, but also I'm going to be facetious and say it like how I interpreted it. He goes, you want to play something right now? How about Elder Scrolls Online? I'm like, whoa. Like you were literally trying to sell, like you just said, we got big games coming. And that has been the conversation about Xbox for almost a year and a half since the Series X has came out. Is they've been playing this big ass waiting game, and the goalpost of waiting has been keep getting pushed on something else. And this is definitely the worst year, in my opinion, for a first party-esque of Microsoft presentations for the holiday season coming up. 2023, they might kill the whole year. They could. But I'm just saying, for right now, to get you to 2023, we still got 6 months, and that's a long time of people just sitting and looking at their console, and like, the regular customer is going to be fine. But it will be really hard for somebody to try to sell somebody an Xbox at this moment in time with some of the there's no big what's that called? There's nothing on a pedestal to shine like this is why I got an Xbox, because everything is multi-plat or whatever, or free to play, which is like, you know, on everywhere. That was the other thing. So everything they showed might be coming to Game Pass day and date, but it does not give me the reason to go to that ecosystem because it is a multi-plat game shown, and I'll just wait for it on my system of choice. Because obviously they showed Hollow Knight, and the last time I checked, without me knowing exactly if Hollow Knight was first on Nintendo, but either way, the PlayStation had to wait for the Void Heart edition of Hollow Knight 1. So I was like, of course we'd have to wait for a special edition of Hollow Knight 2. So I'm just more happy to see that Hollow Knight 2 was revealed. But yeah, it's just another one of those indie games that looks really good to me, but I can wait. They also showed like last year, they had the Yakuza collection come over to Game Pass, and this one was like, oh, they finally left PlayStation, we're getting some Japanese things. This year, they got Persona. Very shocking when we first saw it, but let me also sprinkle what happened this morning before recording. So, they revealed Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, so i.e. the best of those versions. So obviously Portable is probably was the most recent addition, which when I say recent, it's a PSP game. So I'm just saying the idea of like, that's how old it is. Obviously PlayStation Vita's Golden version is the creme de la creme of that Persona PS2 game. And then they also are getting Persona 5 Royale. So obviously it's the new story version of Persona 5. Very cool. Coming to Game Pass, day and date, I think later this year. I saw people, they were chucking and jiving, they were so happy, and then they were praising Persona more I've ever seen. I've never seen anybody. My computer right now is on the special edition Persona 5 box. So I'm like, I've had it. But the idea of like, people were like praising, Persona's a great game. And then this morning, they just announced that announcement that would happen is PS5 is gonna get the fucking the Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and obviously Persona 5 Royale PS5 versions too. But I'm like, is anybody going to say anything good about Persona today after it's going to be on everything? Nope. But I will say it's a good grab. I will say, that's how I will say it. Like I said, they threw a big net out and grasped a lot of different things and niche things that could attract somebody to Game Pass. But I'm being here to just honestly say it is a grasp net that you're throwing at the same fish that are already in your barrel. You are not catching any new fish with this presentation. I think that's what makes this presentation pretty weak. And then we'll get into Todd. I just can't remember his last name. But the guy who does Elder Scrolls and Fallout shit, he came out and they revealed a 15 minutes of Starfield. And the presentation of Starfield definitely reveals why it was delayed. It was kind of choppy. Some AI was not registering how you want. I also saw a picture of in the trailer they had a character have their head backwards. Again, could be a flaw, could have been also a altered photo. I'm just saying what I saw, it was a little choppy. And it looked a little too muddy in the colors. Like they were definitely in this moment of presenting, they were using a lot of blacks, grays, and browns. And any other time I said that, it probably sounded like I'd be like marching in January 6th. But no, the color palette was a little off, and it did not look that presentable to me. There was one moment of like one of the planets had like a neon like style. Okay, that looks kind of fun. The AI that you conversate with, like a very typical Fallout or typical Elder Scrolls, it has that Bethesda facial things. It did not look that good at the moment. So I'm just saying it could have been old models and everything could have, we do not know until they hit the finish line. But some cool things that was shown is a complete character creator. You can create ships. You can drive ships. You can create houses or, the stations. You can, he said, which stick to me, I don't believe this, or I don't think it's going to come to fruition like how he says. He says there will be over 100 solar systems and over 1,000 planets to go to. And when I hear that, I'm thinking that might be a little too big. Or how much, or how much is going to be fatal, and how much is just like, here's a little spot of this planet that you're allowed to get into. Maybe it's like on Futurama when the moon has a bubble and that's where everybody's at. Like you're on the moon, but you're just in a theme park. But another little thing that came out of it was everything I just said on Starfield, building, there's mech robots, there's obviously, of course, different aliens, creatures, and all that stuff. People have been saying this very much looks like No Man's Skies. And granted, No Man's Skies maybe has a little bit more animated, cartoony body styles, but IGN did a side-by-side of certain things that happen, like Starfield, you get to mine minerals off the planet, kind of like No Man's Sky, and then with the same kind of like ray gun to dig off the wall. There's a moment when he's walking down this walkway and you see a mech, and it kind of happens, and they showed in No Man's Sky, there's a part when the guy's walking in this field and a mech comes out of nowhere. I'm like, whoa, that's kind of odd. There's a dog fight in space. I'm like, oh, that looks, and they showed it and like, oh, that No Man's Sky has dog fights. You can go to any planet you want, and No Man's Sky does that. The only thing that's obviously different is, I believe, without me getting that far into No Man's Sky, is you don't get that Elder Scrolls feeling of zooming into someone's face to talk to them and doing some dialogue. But I could be wrong. That could be in there. Maybe not as Bethesda-y, but it could be in there of dialogue talking to people. But that's how they ended it. And I will say I do like watching. There's a certain YouTuber who has a whole gang of guys, the broadband bullies, and they are there. And they are there for, it's like serious satire, where it's kind of like how it could be like a group of people, like they're in Fox News debating, and like people are really into, I believe this, and this is great, I believe this is dog shit, and like it could be people maybe acting, but it could be he has people that really believe Xbox did no wrong, and then he obviously has people that say Xbox is crap. And it's a fun, wild show. But he is obviously not the right person to like have my feelings. Oh yeah, I believe in the in his words, the coonery and fuckery of it. But just the idea of, I did feel it was an okay show, not great, and almost not good. It was just an okay show. It got me excited for games that I know it's coming to my platform as well. So that's not fair for Xbox fans. Some fans are happy, some fans are not. It's a very mixed bag. And now we have a lot of crowd control going on of the people who maybe got who they might have got flown out to do these fan fests, and they're like, hey, it's pretty good. And they also, my favorite, Xbox put up this weird picture of quote unquote games shown, and some weren't. Callisto Protocol wasn't shown. They have a bunch of them. Majority of them have Game Pass. They tell you exactly when you're going to get them on, or when it is Game Pass. One column or half the posters is 2022. The other half is 2023. And again, these are supposed to be within the next 12 months. Does anybody want to take any bets? Does anybody think Starfield is going to come out before November? Does anybody think, what would be another one? Does anybody really think Forza might? Does anybody think Forza is going to come out before June? They say spring, so I guess I'll correct that one. But Redfall, does anybody think, when is Redfall? There was no confirmed, it's just 2023. There's no sector, there's no section. They also stretched out this 90 minutes for no reason. They showed updates on Sea of Thieves. They showed updates on Grounded. They showed updates on things that are already out that, in my opinion, did not move the scale to make somebody want to go get an Xbox. Elder Scrolls Online. They had the balls to show Fallout 76 again of like a new expansion, which also at the same time, maybe it's just me, but I feel like the pit felt like the old expansion that they announced last year. I'm like, what are we doing? But I think it was the worst Xbox presentation in a couple years. And they've always had hopes and dreams, and they show like wishing and here next year's going to be great. But I think this was in a idea of, I am trying to sell systems. I'm even trying to sell subscriptions of my Game Pass. It was such a wide net that I do not think it would grasp someone on the tipping scale of should I get this or that as much as what they think it did. But yeah, we are still going down the summer thing. There is still tonight, because it's in Japan, the Capcom live stream is tonight at 10. I'm not watching it live. I'll be sleeping because I got to work. I want to say there's a Final Fantasy 7 live stream celebration somewhere in this next coming week. We are still also, there's a rumor that Nintendo is aiming for July 29th for their Summer Direct. And without knowing, probably some Thursday, there will be a PlayStation State of Play of showing what first party is doing or what's happening down the pipe, because right now there was within like a 4-day window, people were saying God of War was being delayed. And they haven't said it yet. And then now we're on this part of the scale that says, nope, it is coming November. And we've had more people confirm it that it says November. Then the delay happened. So we're in this weird spot of where is it going? Or where is it coming from? November would be great. There's nothing coming out in the sense of competition besides Modern Warfare. Oh yeah, but yeah. I think that'll do me in the sense, I think, in my opinion, this is me, I think Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest large net that he does was more entertaining and more, I'd say more entertaining than Xbox. Xbox did a okay big net, and I guess they did have some more in the eye of the beholder bigger names. So of course, like, I'm excited for Hollow Knight. I'm excited for some things were caught off guard. I'm like, oh wow, this is weird. There is this weird game that you're in a mech suit, but you're doing farming simulator stuff. And I'm like, I can get behind that. I like that. But if that could have been on Jeff Keighley's thing and no one would even noticed. That's how like mid-roll that is. But yeah, I think that'll do me. I think for hot picks for shows, like I said, go check out those other live streams on IGN. Like I said, the Black Voices in Gaming. There's the Gorilla one. There was like multiple back-to-back. Tribeca was also not that bad. Because Tribeca and Xbox did show A Plague's Tale's Requiem, and that looks good. Woo! I love that first one. But and then for music, I guess, you know, this guy, Chalfie's son, has a song out on Bandcamp. I don't want to say it wrong, but I think it's called It's 2022. And I want to say I don't know if he's changed his name more than Prince. I don't know if he's he used to be Little G, Little Geo, Little Drippy, now Little Shreddy. He's you know, artist formerly known as Giovanni. But he is for a 13-year-old, it does do a really well done song. And just more give you a tip of the hat. But yeah, it's on Bandcamp. You can also follow L Chalfie, and you definitely can see the link on his Twitter. For comics, at this moment in time, I don't got nothing on me besides not IGN. DC is doing Dark Crisis, the summer's event, and I don't know exactly what's going on at Marvel, but I don't think they have anything like a summer event. They had the Fortnite Zero War that's going on. And I also should have just more mentioned, there's also like Netflix had showcases, and they had new game shows, like Resident Evil was shown again, not announced. But they also announced there's a new Castlevania animation series following Richter. There's a lot of... This is a great week for news, but also at the same time, without me gathering it all, and then also like having a real informative like thought besides, that's cool. I say it's all cool. And that's my problem. I am a person who can go, Cousin Cecil will always think games are cool, cartoons and movies are cool, besides Morbius. And with that note, I'll see you guys next week. And also, I guess another hot pick. Check out my eBays at Cousin Cecil on eBay. And I was able to sell off 2 of them. I sold off the Jane Foster's appearances, first and second appearances on eBay. And I think they did pretty well, especially the first one. I'm still waiting for the guy to pay me, but I also have contacted him. He's going to pay me Friday. And then you'll also see me, I put two smutty comics up there right now. But yeah, like I say every week, be good to each other. And I'll catch you next week, hopefully. Peace.